Welcome back, guys. Sharpen Your Sword podcast, episode 25. Thank you guys for all the support, all the following, the likes, comments, shares. Guys, like always, we appreciate you more than you can imagine because you guys are our lifeline. You guys are the ones helping us get out there and reach more people. So please keep sharing with your friends and family. Really appreciate it. Share the posts, subscribe to our YouTube, and leave us some comments of what you think. Today's episode 25, professionals versus amateurs, black belts versus white belts, convenience versus commitment. Which one are you? And we are going to dive deep into this and break this down to the ground, okay? We're going to go deep into it and explain what do I mean by professional or amateur, or what do I mean by the convenience seekers and the commitment seekers, or what do I mean by white belt and black belt? If you guys don't know, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, so I like to always talk about and bring jiu-jitsu into other aspects of my life because I can break it down a lot easier. And like always, I have the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez. Welcome to the show, Gio.
Hey. Thank you. I'm excited to talk about these topics. We got a little bit into it in the back room, and then let's save it for the podcast. So you listen to this, man. We got some good stuff. And you mentioned we got the store, right?
The store, the online store is dropping soon.
Online store, guys, a Sharpen Your Sword attire. You got my cap. You can look as clean as me. But outside of all the jokes, it's, sharpen your sword, sharpen your mind, sharpen your body. You got to have a sharp attire too, man. You can't lag there. So coming to you pretty soon.
That's right, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to launch it pretty soon. Just check out that social media, and we will let you guys know ASAP. So, guys, Gio and I, we're always on different topics. Almost every day we go down something, and we're talking about something, and we hit different topics. And today we were getting ready to shoot the podcast, and I saw a post by a guy named Bedros Keuilian, and very high-level entrepreneur, black belt in my opinion, okay, and probably opinions of other people that say he's a black belt. And he posted something along the lines of amateurs and professionals, okay? And this is most business gurus, business entrepreneurs, they kind of talk about the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We're all everything goes back to mindset. A lot goes back to mindset, and that's where I got the whole sharpen your sword idea from. The body is a sword and the mind is a sword. What are you doing every day to sharpen this? And what are you doing every day to dive deep into this, to figure out how can I become better? How can I dissect my mindset? How am I thinking? What am I doing? How am I acting? To the bare bone, right? Before you can do this, you can't move forward. And in life, you have these two groups of people, okay? You have the guys that are black belts, okay? And you have the guys that are white belts, guys that just start the journey, okay? You have professionals and you have amateurs. Guys that do this for long term, the professionals. These guys are in this and committed for a long journey. And you have the amateurs that are in here for a little bit trying to see, do I really want this? Am I committed to this?
Yeah.
Or do I do it as long as I have an easy path? And so you have those guys that are looking for convenience. They're only committed to their goals as long as there's convenience connected to it. And then you got guys that are committed to their goals. So nothing gets in the way. It's pure commitment, Doesn't matter what happens, what hardships happen. They are purely committed to their goals and achieving it at all costs, no matter what, And you see this in different parts of our life these days, not just when it comes to goals, right?
Yeah.
Today in society, we have commitment issues. We talked about this with people that want to work and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. People have a hard time committing these days, They will only commit temporarily as long as it works and it's convenient for them and then nothing gets in their way.
Yep. Or things are certain to happen.
Or it's guaranteed, And so this is a big problem. Many people don't recognize this. They don't recognize that, hey, I'm doing this. Okay, I want to achieve a six-pack, for example, which I think is a silly goal when you say six-pack, right? Because six-pack sometimes it's genetics, it's diet, it's working out. It's not just, I want a six-pack, but it's better to probably say I want to lose 10 pounds, I think that's a more realistic goal. And so, like, I want to lose 10 pounds. And they start working on this journey of losing 10 pounds. And then they realize, like, bro, I got to cook my food. I got to go to the grocery store. I got to wake up 30 minutes early to make my breakfast. You know, I got to go home and cook my dinner.
Yep.
Or I got to pack my lunch. So all these things are starting to get in my way now. It wasn't just I got to lose 10 pounds. It's not that easy. The inconvenience part of it starts popping up. It starts floating to the surface. And when that happens, a lot of people stop because they're truly not committed to their goal.
100%. And you see it all the time with, like we see it all the time in the gym business. But more or less like Planet Fitness, ATC, all these places. We all know the memes, right? We see it. People start off hot in the beginning of the year. Yeah, I want to lose weight. Doom. 4 weeks later, when you're feeling it right, you get out of work, you're wore out. Like, dang, it's very inconvenient to want to have to go work out. To push yourself, you know? And that's when you see people like, well, the moment it stops becoming convenient, they start falling off. Mm-hmm. But what's crazy is a lot of times this happens subconsciously. They don't even realize it. And next thing you know, they fell right back into the wagon. They got burned out, you know? And so it's very, very common to see, you know?
And that's very common to see it, but unless you're very aware, right? Unless you're very aware and you have a good grasp on your mind is pretty sharp. Because if your mind is not sharp, it's easy to lie to yourself. It's easy for you to make something up in your mind. It's very hard to be honest with yourself. You can't come to the gist and say, hey, I'm the problem. You're just lying to yourself. You're starting to work toward your goals. It gets a little bit hard. It's not convenient. And then you stop. And then you say, I stopped because of so-and-so. Or I stopped because life is not fair to me. Or my boss is not fair to me. Or I have this problem, or I have that problem. And it's like, no, bro. You're just not willing to do what it takes at all costs. You know? And that's what we have in society today. People cannot commit no matter what. They can't commit because there's no guarantee. The black belt is committed to the journey. That's why he becomes a black belt. Right? And so not everybody, some of the guys that are on the jiu-jitsu path, right? Like I told myself and I've told you, like when I started jiu-jitsu, I knew. Now everybody says I know, right?
Yeah.
But for me personally, I wasn't lying to myself. I was being honest with myself. And I told everybody around me when they say, hey, well, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so obsessed with it? I'm going to get a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happens. I broke my finger. I've fractured my shin in an MMA fight. I've tore ligaments in my knees, torn in my shoulder. I had a torn hip. Doesn't matter what happens. I set the goal that I will become a jiu-jitsu black belt. I committed to that early on. Now, not many people can commit to that. It's a very rough journey. It's a very tough journey.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make time to train. You got to go past the inconvenience, injuries, mental drain, mental exhaustion, you know, life calamities, all that. But I committed to it. And now because I committed to it, 10 years later, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. Okay? But it took 10 years. So it's hard for somebody to see it, like you told me today, is when I told you, like, 10 years. And you're like, well, Mo, like, some people can't see past the first year. And this is what we're going to talk about today, right? Well, that's the professional and that's the amateur. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be an amateur for the rest of your life, be my guest. You will not achieve what you want. You will not achieve it. You know what I'm saying? You will be a sore loser. You know what I mean? You will be a loser.
You're going to be complaining on social media.
You're going to be complaining on social media. You're going to be complaining to your wife every day. She's going to think you're pathetic. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's going to get achieved. You're going to be on this cycle, just running up and down, up and down, up and down, and nothing gets achieved. You start to better yourself, and then you go back. You start to better yourself, and you can't accomplish it. You know? The professional, the black belt, the committed, they have a desire and they have a true purpose to what they want to achieve. And nothing stops them. Mm-hmm. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do at all costs. Nothing stops me. Okay? This is what I truly want, and I will do it at all costs. You can't stop me. The world can't stop me, and other circumstances will not stop me because I know what I want, and I am committed to this journey.
100%, you know? And so that leads into the first segment, which is, we talked about it briefly, but now we're going to dive into these people, which are the convenience seekers, you know? We see it all the time in every aspect of life. Shit, you see it in yourself, you know? We've all been there. Like, everyone has been in that convenience seeker stage, amateur stage. You know, it's just human nature, you know? You've been there. Some people are there the whole life. Some people don't even recognize it, and they think they're actually hustling. So that's what we're going to talk about. These people go after their goals only when situations are favorable or when they feel motivated, and they often struggle to be consistent, you know? And me, myself, I see it a lot in jiu-jitsu. People come in, they come in hot as a white belts, and then next thing you know, they start slacking. They miss months. They come here motivated again, slack, motivated, boom. Next thing you know, they drop off, you know? I myself was very inconsistent when I first started. It became inconvenient. I didn't go, got motivated, went, stopped going, right? And then I did not progress at all until I became consistent. That my game actually started progressing, and my jiu-jitsu, and me, my self-development as a person, I started progressing. But you see this all the time. But so I want you to go deeper into these convenience seekers. Like, who are these people, and characteristics of these people, and things that people might not recognize. Oh, I'm a convenience seeker, but I'm lying to myself. I think I'm a pro, but I'm really amateur.
Yeah. And so, well, for the most part, it's very easy to spot these people, right? If you are one of those guys that are committed to your craft, right? So if you are a black belt, or you're a professional, or you're aspiring to be a professional, and you've been working for a long time, and so this is what happens, right? From my point of view, right? Because I started young. And so there's guys that don't even start really working until, late 20s, early 30s, correct, these days?
Yeah.
Well, I've been in this over 10 years already. I started so young. So it was a blessing in disguise. I didn't know this. It was a blessing in disguise, And so because I've worked so long, the harder you work, the less sympathetic you become. You know what I'm saying? Because you start recognizing patterns. You start recognizing characteristics. You start recognizing traits, Because these people that we're talking about, the convenience seeker, they're all around us. You look to your left, they're here. You look to your right, they're next to you. You look in front of you and you look behind you, they're all around you.
Yeah.
Now, the committed, which we'll talk about in a little bit, you may find one or two in the room. You won't find a lot of these guys around. The convenience seeker is the general population, because they have the misunderstanding of what it takes to achieve their goals.
Yeah.
They don't truly grasp what it really takes. And so these people are the ones that run their mouth a lot. They're the ones that say, well, I'm trying. And I sit to myself and think, what are you trying? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You're fake calling in sick to work.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like going to work. You know what I'm saying? Your tailbone hurts today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I call in sick to work. And then I see another post. I can't pay my bills. Inflation is through the roof, which it is. But it's through the roof and you don't go to work. Who's the problem?
Yep. You.
You are the problem. You know what I'm saying? Or, I don't feel good about myself. Okay. What are you doing to change that? You're not going to the gym, but I can't afford the gym. Well, you're not working out at home, body weight.
Yep.
You're not putting the chips down. You're not putting the alcohol down. You're not putting the Hostess cakes down. You're not going on a walk every other day, at least, if not every day. So you want something, but you're not willing to do what it truly takes to achieve it. And so if you break it down to that point, you realize it's everybody around you.
Yep.
You know? And that's why I have a hard time hanging out with people, me personally. Unless it's somebody close to me or business transactions involved or a business meeting or just business, relation, mutualism, then I don't hang out with people.
Yeah.
Okay? Because of this. Because this can wear off on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Infectious.
It's infectious. But also it's so damn annoying. Because you just want to say, like, my problem is I just want to say, bro, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, go do something about it. That's my problem.
Yeah. And to your point about what you call it, about being unsympathetic, which when we first started a real relationship, friendship, right? Like you were like, y'all be like, man, that's cold, bro, right? Like you'd be like, man, when you get to a certain point, you just stop giving a shit, right? Mm-hmm. And as I started working and growing as a person and as a young man, you start realizing the sacrifice you got to make, and you start realizing these other people are not willing to make those sacrifices. Mm-hmm. I'm like I'm willing to hurt, right? And you have the same problem, but you're not willing to hurt to fix it. I'm not gonna have sympathy for you, because like me and you feel the same way, but I decided to do something about it, and you decided to not do anything about it. So why am I gonna feel bad for you? Well, you choose to not do anything about it, but I did. How does that make any sense, right? Yeah. So that's where the coldness comes from, like the sympathy. You know, like motherfuckers just complain about, oh, I don't got money, but I'm not working. Like I want money. Yeah. Well, how am I gonna? That don't make sense. You know. But one thing that I do notice with these people, which is they get very motivated, and they get high on the. You said it. You said when you first became a white belt, right? You were like, I'm going to become a black belt, right? No thoughts about it, right? You were committed, but other people have this idea too, but they get high. They say that when they're high from the idea of, oh, I'm going to be a virgin black belt. People going to be looking at me. I'm going to be so cool at the martial art. You get high. Like that's the feeling you have when you think about it. But then you get into training, and it's hard on your body. It's hard on your ego. It's hard on your mind. Then the high starts wearing off. Mm-hmm. And then that's where the inconsistency comes. And then once the inconsistency comes, you don't see progress. People feel bad about not getting better. And then it's just downhill from there. But it's just this getting high and no discipline behind it. You know?
And that's where you have to see if there's a true connection with what they want. If there's a true connection, then you get past inconvenience. Okay? And the truth is, okay, it's how much you can endure pain. How much days and how much time are you willing to take pain to achieve what you want? How much are you willing to, like, imagine there's like a thermostat, but it's like a pain thermostat or a stress thermostat. Mm-hmm. How high on the thermostat can you go? That will decide what you achieve. That makes sense?
Yes.
You know? And so your mental capacity, same thing. Just imagine there's a thermostat for all these. You know what I'm saying? On your car, once it gets over a certain amount, the car overheats and stops. So the human body is the same thing. And we're not talking about literally overheating like from physical activity. So there's a heat exhaustion involved. No, just imagine, right? There's a thermostat for stress. There's a thermostat for pain. There's a thermostat for mental capacity. How high are you willing to take this? This will decide what you achieve. Most people can't take it. So in the car, you know, it always stays in the middle. The second it goes over, you're like, oh snap, like there's something wrong with my car.
Yeah.
The car starts acting funny. You may smell something. You may see some smoke come out of it. Things start notifying you there's things going on. Okay? But it broke the equilibrium, the balance. It went over.
I better stop.
You know? And you usually stop and you stop, right? So the human body is the same thing. Is you're fine and you're in the middle as long as everything is going good. But inconvenience happens. Temperature goes up a little more. More inconvenience happens. It's going to go up even more. Okay? And it's going to keep going up. And it's going to keep pushing you to test you. Like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a white belt. I had a teenager come in Tuesday. And I talked to him for a long time. And he said, what's the point of me doing this? Like, I'm going to get beat up. I said, that's the point. We all started there. That's part of the process. Most people can't get over that hump. Well, the heat was put on them. Specifically men, right? They come in thinking they're macho. They get submitted. They get choked out. And the heat got put on them day one. There's no line in jiu-jitsu. Day one, the heat gets put on them. Okay? Now, if you're a person that can handle the heat, if you have a sharp sword or you've been sharpening the sword, you can handle more heat than the average person. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so this is where they decide, do I stop? Okay? Or do I go through the heat? You know what I mean? If they go through the heat, they get a little stronger. And now they go through the heat, their capacity gets stronger, gets higher, gets bigger. So they can take more heat now. But this is a process over time. Your skin becomes thick to the pain. It becomes thick to the stress. You know what I mean? Like, I have a problem now. If I'm not stressed out, I feel like I'm not doing no work. It's kind of silly to think about it.
Yeah.
But if I'm not in the chaos, I think there's something wrong. I'm not working hard enough. You know? So these guys don't have that. They run away from that. And so every time they run away, they stop, they quit. A month, 2 months, 3 months into it, you know? And they go back and they go find something else to do. Because motivation only takes you so long, so far.
Yeah.
But if there's purpose and there's intention in what you want, you'll go through the heat. And you'll fight it. And that's where your discipline comes in, your consistency comes in. And you're willing to keep pushing through it at all costs.
Yeah.
And over time, you'll become a black belt. You know?
That's crazy. One thing that you see a lot in the convenience seekers, which are the white belts, it's there's not a lot of pain tolerance. It's as long as I feel good doing it.
Yep.
As long as things are convenient, right? These are convenience seekers. As long as I don't get burned, I don't hurt. I remember I saw this post on Facebook, and this one guy commented. He was like, "What is the number one determining factor of success?" A lot of people discipline, some people imagination, all these things, right? And I typed without thinking. I immediately said pain tolerance when it comes to success. Is your pain tolerance? And I remember we went to this seminar, this business thing, and one of the entrepreneurs, he said, your net worth, how much you're worth, is connected to how much pain you can tolerate. And I remember at the time, I'm like, okay, I can understand what you're saying, but personally, I can't testify for that, right? And as time goes by, you choose if you want to hurt, right? You choose how much you want to. If you want to work every day, it hurts, right? Eventually becomes normal, right? But to going from your normal days to going to that hurts. And a lot of people, they don't like that pain. And it's really just a pain of inconvenience. It's inconvenient because it's more convenient to just stay at home and watch whatever new series in Netflix. I haven't watched Netflix in so long, right? And I stopped caring for it. It's the pain, and that's where it kills people. I can't deal with this pain, so I'd rather take this pleasure right now in the moment, right? Which is staying at home, watching anime, whatever, right? But when I look back at it, when I was in that period of my life, when I would do that, when I would sacrifice temporary pleasure. It's okay. I felt good in the moment, but when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, I should have done that. Like I should have done this other thing, and I would actually feel better right now. Then who cares about then? Like, okay, it passed. I watched some anime. I got high. Easy dopamine. Boom. But a great example I've heard that of an inconvenience. I mean, of convenience seekers versus professionals. It's I actually heard it from Bedros Keuilian. He said there's crop dusters, right? If people don't know what a crop duster is, because I didn't know what a crop duster was. It's pretty much it's like those planes that drop like insecticides or chemicals on the fields, right? It's these like individual planes, and they got the spinning engine, and you just go up. So these things, you are flying, you are going places, but you're going slow. You're probably not gonna get to the destination you want, right? You're probably not gonna be able to go across the country with a crop duster.
Yeah.
And then the professionals are jets. They go all around the world. And they can keep going and spinning and spinning and spinning and a lot faster than you. They'll lap over you. And that when I wear it like that, he was like, you want to be a jet, not a fudgy crop duster. I'm like, that's right. Like, what? I don't want to move slow. Or just look like, hear another jet, just, like, damn, that could be me. You know? And my biggest thing is, I don't want to be in my deathbed and thinking who I could have been.
Yeah.
You know? That would hurt even more than just the temporary pain of doing things that are not convenient to me. Yeah. You know? But what about the fact that people lie to themselves? You know? Like, you see it all the time, right? And I've been in this position. It's you think you're doing the work, you think you're going hard in the paint, right? Because you're exhausting yourself maybe just a little bit, right? You are pushing the meter just a little bit. You're like, yeah, I did good work today. You know, it's not much, but it's honest work. But you push the meter just a little bit, right? And people will think, yeah, I'm pushing the meter to get to that point, you know? But the way you're supposed to feel is you're supposed to be dead. You know, like you said it, like if you're into fitness, right, and you really committed to it, or whatever, anything requires physical activity, like you should not be able to fudge and move, right? Like your legs should not be able to, like you're working that hard to that point. And that's the reality of it. If you are not exhausting yourself, like you said, if you're not pushing it to a point where you just feel like getting home and dropping, then you're really not getting there.
Yeah. And this is a sensitive topic because it's 2024. We got a bunch of snowflakes. You know what I mean? And everybody has their own 2 cents on this topic. And people will say you're crazy. Like, whoever said you need to work 100-hour weeks to achieve what you want? That's nonsense. You're just killing yourself. Or why you need to go to the gym and work out for 4 hours. That's nonsense. The science behind that doesn't show this, right? Let's just talk on just face value, okay? Shut the hell up. You know what I mean? That's the truth. That's why we are where we are. That's why we have a bunch of losers. That's why we have a bunch of people that are always crying on social media. Because of that. Because you taught them how to lie to themselves. You taught them how to be sensitive. You taught them how to make excuses for why they're not achieving it and to try to help them feel better about why they didn't achieve it. No, you didn't achieve it because you're weak. That's why. It's just plain simple. You were not able to achieve what you want because you're weak. Because you did not do what you had to do. That's why you didn't achieve that goal. It's not because, you overworked yourself, you overtrained, or you work 150-hour weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's part one. So when I see somebody, this is my problem, and this is not a problem. This is it for me. This is the way I look through my lens. You don't have to agree with me. Mm-hmm. If you think otherwise, show me your success. Show me your method. Show me what works for you, and then show me what you accomplished. Don't just tell me this. The ones that are on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, that's so crazy. He does not know he's a wannabe, Tony Robbins. He's a wannabe this. Who is he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you click on their profile and it's like this dude that's like overweight that only talks crap online. So what does that tell you about him? He has not achieved anything.
Yep.
He only has time to talk crap. Because if you achieve something, you've got some grit. Okay, you have less sympathy, and you don't give a shit. You don't have time to go post some negative on somebody's post. And if you went through the grind, you've been through the negative. So you're not, for the most part, you're not going to put the negative back out on somebody and knock them down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when I was a brown belt, I growing up, I wanted to be like a motivational speaker. I wanted to be a public speaker. And I like talking to the kids. I like talking to people when I coach. I like to give talks, right? And our academy posted a video of me giving a speech. And this dude posted like, wannabe black belt. And I was a brown belt. And I was a 3-stripe brown belt. So I was almost a black belt. I'm not a black belt. I wasn't a black belt at that time, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, wannabe black belt. And it made me laugh, honestly. I started laughing. And I wanted to reply to him, honestly, but like, what's the point? Clicked on his profile. He's a loser. He probably has no wisdom to share.
Yeah. He
probably never achieved his goals. And he probably cries and whines to his wife about how his job sucks.
If he has one.
If he has one. And how miserable he is. That's who that person is. Okay? I kind of went on a rant there, but so my point is, it takes a lot. And most people are not doing a lot. Most people are not doing enough. Most. And when I say most, I'm saying like 95 to 98, 99%. Mm-hmm. That's why they call them the 1%ers. The guys that achieve something, they say it's the 1%. Do you want to be part of the 1%? Why do they say 1%? Because it's 1% of the whole population. It's a very small group. And do you think these small group work 30 hours a week? Do you think they worked out when they felt like waking up, only when they woke up?
Yep.
Or they made themselves wake up earlier? They decided to eat clean. They decided to work an extra shift. They decided to work an extra day. They decided to work on the holidays. You think they did that, or do you think they said, well, you know what? I put in a good workout yesterday, and I'm kind of sore. I think I need to chill today. I need to let my body rest.
Yeah.
And then you go look at their workout, and their workout was not hard. Now, we're talking about the extreme level. I'm not talking about average people that are trying to achieve, 10-pound loss. I'm talking about guys that are wanting to achieve big things, right? That's what I like talking about. It's guys that want to achieve their dream, like we talked about on episode 24, right? Achieving the dream. So these are the convenience seekers. They're only going to do it when it feels right, when they feel good, when they're motivated. Okay? So they're only going to work out when their body feels good. They're only going to work out when their mind is clear and their mental health is good on that day. Mm-hmm. So if they woke up on the wrong side of the bed and their mindset is telling them not to, guess what? Yeah, let me sit at home and chill. I trained hard. I did honest work, like you said.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, you tell me you want to achieve this right here. And the work that you're doing is right here. The math ain't mathing. Just be honest with yourself. You're not willing to endure the pain to achieve what you want. You're not willing to endure the stress, the hardships, the mental stress, the mental exhaustion to achieve what you want. Because the second the meter goes beyond the middle point, you start feeling the heat. And when you feel the heat, the excuses come in. And when the excuses come in, you let off the gas. And you make excuses for why you can't do it.
Yeah.
Or why you should not do it. I worked hard. I think it'll be overtraining. Oh, some guy on Instagram said, oh, that's too much to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the problem. And you look at these people, and that's why I have to bite my tongue these days. You look at them, and I want to tell them. I don't want to be this guy, but I'm telling them, like, you're not going to achieve your goal. Just simple. You're not going to achieve it, buddy. Just that simple. From what I can see, you're not gonna achieve it.
But it's coming from a place of like love and realism, not a place from hate, you know?
Yeah, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm just being real with him.
But people think you hating on him.
Well, that's the problem because their ego gets checked. Their ego gets checked and like, this dude's a hater. He's jealous of me. Now, there is people out there that do that. But when the ones that do that are the ones that usually at your level or below you. The one that's above you, and when I say above, I mean like more successful than you. They don't have time to hate on you. They don't have time to envy or be jealous of you. The one that's doing all that is usually where you are at or below you, for the most part. Okay? So most people, 99% of the population, is not working hard enough. They can sit there and lie to themselves. They can say whatever they want. They're not doing what it takes. Yeah. You know, and I'm not a fitness guy, big fitness guy, but look at the bodybuilders back in the day, like Arnold's time. Look at the way they worked out. They would go until they can't go no more. That was the methodology back then.
Yeah.
What did they say about that today? That's the wrong methodology.
Yep.
You can't do that. To be successful, you can't do that. Well, how come none of you guys look like the bodybuilders from back in the day? None of you guys look like them.
Yeah.
Look at Arnold's core. Who can you find a bodybuilder these days that looks like that? Very rare. Why? Because they're soft.
If people want to find like, and you see it all the time, people want, they want the shortcut to the same outcome. But when it comes to success,
that's powerful.
There's no shortcut.
That's powerful. That's it. They want the shortcut to the same outcome. That's powerful. That's a good quote.
Yeah. And you see it all the time.
You know, and that's the damn truth. There is no shortcut to the top. It's taking one stair step at a time to the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are not willing to do that. And so, what do you think the guy that's took every damn step for 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 years gonna do to the guy that takes 5 steps and like, shit, man, I'm already tired? What do you think he's gonna say to him? You think he's gonna care? He'd be like, bro, what the hell? Like, you think you did work by going up 5, 10, 15 steps? You think that's what it takes to achieve your goals? And then you have to take a rest day? And then you do it again? And then you tell me you worked hard for 3 months, now you're gonna take a month off? Take 2 months off? You know what I'm saying? The commitment is not there. The dedication is not there. The willing to do what it takes is not there. And these guys will always be white belts.
Yep. They will always break.
Any sense of heat, any sense of stress, pressure, pain, they stop. You know? And this is the problem. It's like, man, you have to work so much. You have to work so much. I say it all the time. 40-hour weeks don't count. Where we are in life, 40-hour weeks don't count. You know, there's no problem with a two household income. There is no problem. This is what it takes in this country at this point. It's very hard to have a one household income.
Yeah.
But if you are the man, I'm not going to talk about the other side, right? There's some men that think women should run the household with the one income on the woman's side. There's some women that think they should do it, and there's some men that are fine with doing it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to talk from the perspective of the man, like old school, okay? I can say whatever you want. And he wants to have a one household income. I don't know why you're partying right now. I don't know why you're hanging out with your friends right now. I don't know why you're chilling right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have a rest day right now. I don't know why you're working 40 hours. Why you keep stopping? Because it ain't gonna happen. It's not going to happen. You have to do it for a long period of time. The hustle takes more than you think. You can't condense it. You know what I mean? So if you're not willing to put all that BS to the side, if you're not willing to put the inconvenience to the side, then you're not going to be able to have that one household income. If you're not willing to endure the pain, you know, and you're not willing to just step up to the plate and not make excuses and be honest with yourself, you are not going to achieve that goal. And that goal, you may have to sacrifice a lot even when you have the family. Not necessarily only before you have the family. When you have the family, when you have the kids, you're still going to have to sacrifice. Because you say, hey, I don't want my wife working for another man. A lot of people say, guess what, Terry? That's so toxic.
Yeah.
Right? Why do they say that? Because they can't achieve it. That's why. Because if they could achieve it, they ain't going to say that. They're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But since somebody thinks that way and somebody's going to make it happen, that's the haters come in. That's so toxic.
That's a coping mechanism right
That's
there.
their coping mechanism. What's wrong with a woman working? Or a man and woman working? This is just an example we're using. Right? We're talking about the financial part of it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? There's a lot wrong with it. Where the hell are your kids? When are you seeing your wife? When is she seeing her husband?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing in your free time? Or do you have free time because both of you are working? And you may not have free time, you being the man in one household income, and you're working all the time, but you still have a better chance of raising your kids better because your wife is with them. You still get to see your wife because you don't get to come home and she's at her work, or vice versa.
When she's all stressed from work.
When she's stressed out from work and dead from work. You know? And so what are you going to be willing to get that dollar amount that you want? Some guys are business guys. I was talking to one yesterday, and he said, Mo, like, I don't know what my end goal is, but my end goal is to just be the top. I don't know how to stop that. You know, he's telling me like, hey, they offered to buy my company, and I don't really want that. I just want to beat them. The money is not the problem. So I was like, damn, bro.
That's
like
a powerful mindset.
I was getting hyped up talking to him. You know what I mean? And so like, what is he willing to do? He tells me, I'll go in at 1 a.m. I'm willing to wake up at 1 a.m. to be able to do my work and go see my kids at their baseball game, football game. I'm willing to do that. Are you willing to wake up at 1 a.m.? Most people are going to answer no.
No.
You know what I mean? Most people are going to answer, I will not work at 1 a.m. or go in, clock in at my job at 1 a.m. so I can go see my kids' football game.
Most people gonna hit you with what science says that they're just not gonna be honest with themselves. They're gonna lie.
I need to get 8 hours of sleep tonight.
They're gonna come up with a good excuse.
That's it.
Which is just BS.
You know? But you will always be where you're at. It's that simple. And the problem is, most people, I don't think they recognize that they are not doing enough work. Because of all the BS that they fed themselves, because they fed their mind the lie, and they're lying to themselves, and then they got friends around them lying to them. I think they don't realize that they have not done enough work. But they have made themselves believe they've done the work. But the truth is they have not. You know? And, well, if I work too much, I'm going to be burned out. Well, you as a committed person, you as a black belt, you think he didn't feel burnout you think I didn't feel burnout in the last 10 years? There's been times I just want to say, screw jiu-jitsu, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
There's been times I did not want nothing to do with it. There's been times I wanted to quit building my academy. I just wanted to be done. It was that exhausting. You can call it burnout.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever you want. You can say your tailbone hurts. Doesn't matter. You're going to just be done? You think we don't feel that? So I'm feeling burnout. I need to take a rest day.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for me.
That's just weakness.
The truth is it's weakness. But these days in 2024, it's just unhealthy and toxic. Weakness is considered unhealthy and toxic. Any form of weakness and anything that bothers you or causes inconvenience and you continue to do it, that's toxic. Anything. No, it's not toxic. You just ripped from the wrong piece of cloth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You came out the Kroger bag. Paper Kroger bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just weak. You're funny enough. Yesterday, I was talking to I remember the academy. We were talking about like he's lost a lot of weight. I was talking to him. I was like, "You thought you were gonna be in this position when you first started when you joined the academy?" He said, "No, bro. I didn't think so. I didn't think I was gonna be this different a person or this deep into martial arts or this deep into self improvement." And we started talking about like common things that people suffer in today's age, right? Like one thing is depression. Where it's like, man, like I like the entertainment philosophy where it's like I don't believe in depression. And if I don't believe in it, it can't be real. Right? If I feel sad, I just feel sad for the day. That's it. I don't dive into that, right? And I believe that's true. I believe that a lot of depression, for the most part, right? I'm sure some they say is like a chemical imbalance in the brain, but I think for the most part, depression
It's made up.
is in your own mind. It's
Yes.
you have these sad feelings,
You made it up in your head.
you keep spiraling, you keep overthinking.
You sat there and thought about it.
You saw that, thought about it too long. You make all these things. Now you feel insecure. Now you feel subconscious. You feel sorry for yourself. You feel like a victim. And you just whimper and cry about it. And that's pathetic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, but it is, you know? And as men, you have to tell the men, like, bro, that's pathetic, you know? If I'm in that position, tell me I'm being fudgy and pathetic. Because as a man, you don't want to be.
I will tell you.
Right? I know you keep it 100, you know? But a lot of people, they hit you with that, they just start finding other excuses. Or, oh, we need to get you on some medication or some antidepressants or whatever. Let's destroy your liver to fix your brain. No, how about the reality is, how about you just fudging man up? Go out there, physically exercise yourself, interact with people, be in nature, and you'll see that these things will fade off. You know, this depression is like, it's like new. This is new. Who had depression back in the day? Maybe moms who their kids died? Or the relative died, only then. But outside of that, there was no, I got depression. Well, you too busy hunting, working the land to even have the thought of depression, you know? So I think there is, like you said, there's a lot of mental weakness. And people cave to this mental weakness. But I want to say, that was a little off. But in life, once I learned this philosophy, it's very true. In life is just a trade-off. Life is about trade-offs. And if you're not willing to trade off your youth, your present moment for the future, then you traded off your future for the present moment. You know? And then people don't look at it that way. When they hang out with people, when they chill, when they're not working, they're not taking the most advantage of the day. They're not squeezing the most out they can from the day. Then you're just trading off your future, bro. You're trading off who you could be for today's convenience. But if you go to the inconvenience, you're trading this off to be in a better place in the future.
Yep. And amateurs don't understand this part. They don't understand that. They think the professionals or the black belts it's just like it was a handout for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember somebody told me, like, I've had people tell me, like, oh, well, you got your parents' money. Like, it was a handout. Somebody straight up told me that once. And I was just thinking, bro, you just don't. Damn. I didn't argue it. Kept my mouth shut. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. That man pissed me off. You know? And all I thought was like I said, you don't know what it took to be here. You know? Or you got lucky with an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, same thing. You just got lucky. He's like, magic happened. That's what people, honest to God, believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize exactly what you said. That you pay today's price for tomorrow's enjoyment. You got to pay the price today for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if you don't, if you enjoy it today, you pay the price tomorrow. you know? And these are the people that we're talking about. These are the ones, and that's why we have what we have today. People want to ignore and they want to make up all this bullshit. This is why we have what we have today. We kept lying to ourselves for a very long time, as a country, as a whole. Instead of saying, no, bro, shut the hell up, and you were not doing enough. You're not working hard enough. Nobody's going to give you anything. Or they are giving something, right? They start crying and whining, you have to give them something, help them out. So these people don't understand. To the other side, to climb the rainbow, you gotta do the work. You gotta climb. Not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, not for 4 years, not for 5 years. As long as it takes. Most people will tell you 8 years, 10 years, 7 years. Period of time of consistent work every day. You have to do that while having inconvenience, while being heartbroken, while doing it stressed, while doing it under pain, with mental exhaustion. No matter what. What is burnout?
The feeling, that's it.
It's a feeling. That's all it is. If you sharpen your sword enough mentally, burnout won't stop you. You may feel the burnout, exhausted, right? I don't know why we made mental burnout a word, but you feel exhausted, but you could decide to keep going. And most people don't decide to keep going, and this is where the problem is with these guys that are convenience seekers. This is the biggest problem.
100%. Crazy. So that's one side of the spectrum. The convenience seekers, the amateurs, right? The white belts. They have dreams but are not willing to sacrifice what is needed to achieve these goals, you know? And to be honest, when we talking about dreams, you talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. To achieve your dreams, you got to dedicate your whole freaking life to it. It is not a part-time. You know, it is not a part-time. It is the full-time. with no time limit to it. It is full-time, full blast till you get there, you know? So the second segment is the opposite of the spectrum. The committed pursuers, the professionals, the black belts. And these people, these individuals go after the goals no matter what. They are persistent and resilient. So what would you say, we talked about the amateurs, what do you got to say about these committed pursuers, their characteristics, how they carry themselves in contrast to the amateurs, to the white belts?
So these, I think maybe at the point of my life now, these people, you can spot them in the room. This is, what is the saying? Very few and in between. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot in the room. All right? And these guys, they motivate the heck out of me. You know what I'm saying? They inspire me. And these are the guys that I like to be around. And most of the time, we hit it off. We click. Mm-hmm. All right? But these guys, you talk to them, we all say the same things. That's the thing. We all say the same thing. There is no secret. You ask each one how they work. They work all day, every damn day. Yeah. They're all going to answer the same question. When do you work? Every day. Every day. How was it when you first started? It was hard. How do you feel? Exhausted, but I keep going. All of them say the same thing. You know what I mean? Now, the good thing about being on this side of it is after you paid the price, right? After you paid the price. Now, if you want to go on vacation for 2 weeks, or you want to go to Yellowstone, Montana for a month and get a cabin and get away from the whole damn country for a whole month, guess what you can do? You can do that.
Yep.
You've already paid the price. And here's the problem, is even like for me, like for most guys, even though we can do that, we still don't do it. Because it's hard for us to quit working. Most of these guys are so obsessed with working. You can't get away from it. And so you look at somebody like, okay, bro, you have the money, you have the house, you have everything that you want. Just stop. But the not stopping part is what got them where they are. The obsessiveness is what got them where they are. The addicting journey is what got them what they are. The commitment is what got them where they are. They take off the gas, it feels like they're not alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a never-ending journey. The journey doesn't end. Like I tell guys, like imagine a highway, when you drive at night. It always pops up in my head when I'm driving at night, this picture. It's like you see the lights of the cars in front of you. Like your headlights shining on the road. Like if you're going down, like you're driving in the south, right, at night. And there's nobody on the highway besides you. Mm-hmm. And then your light shines on the highway. And it's just a black highway with white stripes. And it seems like it goes into a dark hole. It just keeps going. The journey is just like that. There's no end. It keeps going. And if you become a black belt, you understand that. If you're a black belt, you understand that. If you're a professional, you understand that. If you're a 1%er, you understand that. The journey does not stop. But the good thing is, you have the resources to enjoy it. You're not just running on the hamster wheel in a spot, not getting anywhere. You have the resources to enjoy the journey, finally, after 5, 10, 15 years. Now I can enjoy it. When I first started, let's talk about jiu-jitsu. I wanted to quit jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. The inconvenience set in. The butt whoopings came in. The heat was put on me. Okay? Then I was my professor's first student when he came back. I wasn't his original first student, but when he came back, I was the one under him, and I was coming up with him. The pressure of people around me, who's Mo, who's this guy, who's this. All of this, okay? Me starting to teach classes, becoming a coach, pressure, no money, okay? Time and investment. I just invested my time. I invested money I didn't have by going to tournaments, right? Talking to people, coaching classes for years, doing it for free, all of it. I never got paid.
Yeah.
Now I look up 10 years later. I'm a black belt. I'm going wherever I want, when I want, through jiu-jitsu. We're going to be at a tournament this Saturday. We're going to be in Vegas next week. It's the third time I'm in Vegas this year.
Yeah.
And it's only August. This is not for me to say, oh, look at Mo, brag. No. This is what you get when you put in the work 10 years later. 10 years ago, I didn't think I was going to be able to. I didn't know. I knew I was going to eventually do it. I didn't know when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I'm going to feel. That I'm already over. I've traveled 15, 20 times this year. You know what I mean? Why can I do that, though? Because I did the damn work for 10 years. I can't expect that to happen on year one. You know? Now I can go coach in Vegas, be at the biggest tournament in the world in Vegas. Mm-hmm. As a black belt. 10 years later. Now I can make a living through teaching jiu-jitsu, through my passion. You know what I mean? And giving back to the community and helping kids that are bullied and helping people that are struggling. You know? Took 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys all would tell you the same thing. It took X amount of years. It took a very long time. Most of these guys are resilient. Most of these guys, like I said, are thick-skinned. Most of these guys take no bullshit. Most of these guys have no sympathy. You know, all of the ones I talk with, every single one, and they'll see somebody and they're like, they know his goals and like, that dude is full of shit. He's full of crap. They say it all the time. Right? And these guys can spot the ones that we're talking about, the convenience seekers. Because you can sit back. What I do is I just sit back. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to pick their mind necessarily. Just hear what they say about what they want to achieve and watch them. Their true colors will be revealed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much. The truth is, it will be revealed within 3-6 months. Easy, you start seeing their colors. It doesn't take long because they're not getting to the 1, 2, 3 years. Most of these people are not.
You can see it. They really believe in they can achieve it, or they really want that goal.
The ones that are committed, that are trying to become black belts, yeah, you see this. You see it because they go past the 3-month mark. They go past the 6-month mark. But I'm talking about being a black belt and seeing the ones that are convenience seekers, the amateurs. Their colors are revealed within 3 months, 4 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Because at that time, they'll start telling you, well, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm burned out. I need a rest. I'm doing a lot. You know what I mean? That's from the guy that's a black belt. He can see this. The committed, the professionals, the successful, the 1%ers, right? Also, these guys take advantage of every opportunity. You know, they have the experience now, and they take advantage of opportunities, and they make the opportunities count.
Yeah.
They don't take it. They don't. What is it when you see something and you don't necessarily care for it? It's like you take it as a
Take it for granted.
take it for granted. Sometimes people that are convenience seekers, white belts, they take things for granted. Because they take it for granted, they don't get to shine. You know what I'm saying? You're a black belt. You see an opportunity, you're jumping on it.
Yeah.
You might have to do some work for it, but you're jumping on it. And that's where a lot of success happens, is taking the opportunities.
100%. It's like like that paradox people say that if you start looking at like for example, you start looking at Mustangs in the road, you start seeing Mustangs in the road. You start looking at you start thinking about G-Wags, you start seeing G-Wags on the road. You start seeing whatever car, you start noticing that car on the road. The same goes for opportunities. You start looking for opportunities to advance yourself, they're gonna pop up, you know? Motherfucker, now are you gonna take it? Are you gonna be an amateur because it's gonna be inconvenient? Okay, now I gotta get capital. Now I gotta sacrifice sleep. Now I gotta sacrifice family time. Now I gotta sacrifice this. Maybe not. Yep. You know? Motherfucker, if you wanna make it happen, you gonna find the way, you know? Like I was saying the other day, I could have invested in Tesla back when I was like 18, but I didn't. And now it's skyrocketed through the roof, right? There's gonna be more opportunities. You gotta keep your eyes out. But damn, I missed that opportunity. You know? I could have more money. Right? I'll still be doing the same thing. Yeah. Hopefully, right? I like doing what I do. But I'll have more money. But I was snoozing.
Yeah.
I don't cry about it. But it's people that would cry about it.
Yeah.
Or they'll tell you, dude, you could have.
Yeah.
But you ain't.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a big one, right? Because I told you this yesterday, and I'll be honest with you. It hurts me. Every time I think about it, it hurts me, man. But like, I was a white belt, you know? And I had a big opportunity. And when I say I was a white belt back then, I was white belt in business. Like, I wasn't experienced. And I was young, bro. And I had an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I didn't see the opportunity to the extent that I should have seen it. Now, if I have the opportunity, it's a different ballgame. Like I said, it is what it is. That's past. It's been over 12 years, 10, 12 years now. But if I had that opportunity, I'd be completely different, bro. I'll be somewhere else. Like it hurts sometimes to think about it. You know, I'm not gonna go into the details about it, but it was a crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, maybe a blessing in disguise because I was young. Maybe with all that success, I would probably end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I wouldn't have the academy that I have. Maybe that success would have led me somewhere else. It would have blinded me from seeing like my true passion. Because that's what happens sometimes, right? But the point is, I couldn't see the opportunity because my sword was not sharp. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have enough of the grit, of the resilience. I didn't have enough of that capacity to take advantage of it. Now, I don't let opportunities. If there's an opportunity, and I have to put something into it, I'm going to do it. I'm willing to do it. If I have to sleep less, I'm going to do it. If I have to work more, I'm going to do it. If I have to sacrifice time with friends and family, I'm going to do it. Now, some people are going to say, well, if you sacrifice time with family, yeah, I'm willing to do that. Does it feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. Everybody wants to come down this rabbit hole, right? And let's talk about this a little bit. These guys, because this is what happens with these guys, right? Is people have said, like, people tell me, like, you're money hungry. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to deny it. But it's not like I'm throwing it in the club or I'm snorting cocaine off the table.
Yeah.
Or I'm spending it on, top shelf alcohol every weekend. But all these people want to say, well, you're money hungry, you don't give a damn about your friends and your family. Most of these people are doing it for their family. Every single one, at least the one in my circle, every time I talk to them, it's for my family.
Yeah.
Every single one. The one I was talking to yesterday said, I'm doing it for my kids. All of them. Now, you obviously have two sides of the spectrum. Some people are doing it for the good, and some people are doing it for the evil, the bad. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily doing good with it, right? But yes, you have to be willing, and these guys understand it at this level, the black belts, that yes, I do have to commit to the grind to the point where I will sacrifice family time. But I know the future that I'm going to create for my family is going to make up for it.
Yeah.
This is what people don't understand. And with family, sometimes if you have a good woman, she's going to stick around. Right? If she's good, which is hard these days. Your kids are going to be there anyway. Your kids are not going to leave you until they're obviously grown. Most of these will stay. So some of these will see the fruits of your work. But in the process, you will lose friends. And they will talk smack about you. But these guys are okay with that. They'll tell you, I don't give a damn about so-and-so. One of the first ones I started talking to told me, like, you have genuine people around you. And he told me, I can sit around these guys, around the fire, all night long. And it's not many guys. He said, I can barely count them on one hand. He said, and you got a lot of people around you that are just doing this to your back. So we all know this.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We all know this, right? That's what it is to be the committed. That's who you're surrounded by, being a committed. But none of that stops you. Sacrificing family time, even complaints from your family. Hey, Dad, where you at? What's this? What's going on? But it's like, hey, you reassure them. And they keep going. What else can you sacrifice more than family time?
There's nothing more valuable than that.
There's nothing more valuable. Sleep? Who gives a damn about that?
But this is a quote by Canelo. I don't know if it's his. They were like, sleep. You're like, rest and sleep. I'll do that when I'm dead. That was badass.
And that's true. Sleep, who gives a damn? Working more hours, who gives a damn? I'm trying to use the correct term. That's why I kept saying tailbone. Your tailbone hurts, who gives a damn? You feeling stressed out, who gives a damn? You're exhausted, who gives a damn? This is the mindset of the 1%er, is I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Most of these guys have their own issues. But if you ask them, what are they going to say? Is everything okay?
Oh.
The 1%ers, what are they going to say? They're going to say, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm straight.
That's their coping mechanism. I'm fine. We don't even acknowledge that. And here people are going to come in and say, well, that's toxic. I don't give a damn. Right? You don't even acknowledge that. Like yesterday, I'll be honest with you. Like I like to keep it real, guys. I'm not going to sit here and be Mrs. Macho, right?
Yeah.
I was telling you this earlier, and I don't tell much people. I tell Gio this stuff because I know he feels it sometimes. We all feel it, But yesterday, my problem is I get into the moments where I become I get very addicted to things. I become very obsessed, right? And I'm in a stage where I'm very obsessed with what I want to achieve right now. And like yesterday, I just woke up and it's like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And I laid there and I thought to myself, like, it was 4:30 in the morning. And I thought to myself, I just opened my eyes and I was like, damn it, man. Here's another damn day. Like, got to do this again. You know? And it's like, just rest. Like, you have a big weekend coming up. Just enjoy it. Like, get some rest. Boost up for the weekend. And they're like, bro, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, like, what are you doing, bro? And got up. I forced myself up. Got up. Went to the gym. Put my running shoes on. And I went on a 3-mile run. And it was pitch black outside. And the whole time I'm thinking is like, and E.T. said it, Eric Thomas. I was listening to Eric Thomas. And he said, they asked him, how do you get up in the morning? And he said, you have to find the purpose that drives you, the thing that drives you that will get you up for 20 more years, 10 more years, 15 more years, not for the next day. So it's that deep. It's like, what is it that drives you? And are you willing to do what it takes? Those guys that we talked about earlier, they're not willing to do that process. They would have stayed in bed. Shit, I almost stayed in bed.
Yeah.
I was struggling. And I train every damn day, 7 days a week. I don't take a day off. I train my mind and my body every day. And I had a hard time getting out. So imagine a person that doesn't train. Their mind, they don't sharpen their sword mentally and physically.
They will hit the snooze.
They're snoozing. And so yesterday, I had a rough day yesterday. I'll be honest with you. Yesterday was rough. So that was the morning. And then it was like my problem is I'm trying to get I want to get, it's like there's a saying, don't get the cart in front of the horse. You know, the horse got to stay in front. Quit getting the cart. I'm trying to get the cart in front of the horse. That's my problem.
What does that mean?
That means I'm trying to get ahead of the game fast. Like don't get too ahead of yourself, right? Because if the cart gets in front of the horse, you got a problem. The horse is pulling the cart, you know. And so yesterday, like I was and I, like you said, like get sunlight and walk outside. And so like when I went to get lunch yesterday, I went and cooked lunch yesterday. I walked, and it helped me out. But it was like I was thinking like, bro, what are you doing? Like you are not working hard enough. Like you think you already trained hard and you worked hard today and you worked on your business hard enough, and it started eating me up. Like I didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you did not do enough this week already. You're behind. You know what I'm saying? I picked up the damn phone. I made phone calls. I had a couple guys that I had to talk to about a couple things for work. And I picked up the phone right away. You know? Action alleviates anxiety. You know? And so it made me feel better. I started working more. But it's like these guys, we struggle with this problem. I feel like it's like you become so obsessed with what you want to achieve. I guess they call it unhealthy these days, right?
Yeah.
But you become so obsessive. And my problem is like I've been waking up at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. and I can't go back to sleep because I'm thinking about work. And last night was one of them nights. I woke up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You know? But my problem has been happening more and more to me. And so these guys, I think this is what you see. I'm committed to what I got to achieve. I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu a few months ago. I unlocked a whole nother journey.
Yeah.
I can't stop. I realized, like, bro, you got to become a better professor for your students. You got to create a better academy. Like I told you, I'm getting ready for Saturday. I want to be prepared for Saturday. I want to be a black belt for Saturday. I want to be the best I can for Saturday. You know? And I'm committed to that journey and to my goals. I'm committed no matter how I feel. I got to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where you disconnect from half of the world, over half of the world, the majority of the world. It's because you think that after I woke up today, I didn't sleep. I woke up at 2 a.m, stressing over my own dreams. And I got up and went to work. I'm been yawning all day. Right? And then you tell me that you worked for 3 days on your goals.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm gonna tell you?
I got no sympathy for you.
I don't care what you got to say. I don't care. You didn't work hard enough. If I'm not working hard enough and I'm doing it 7 days a week, who are you to tell me you're working hard enough and you're doing it 3-4 days and you're not giving me 100%?
Yeah.
So now I look like an asshole. You know what I mean? So these 1%ers is you do whatever it takes. I don't even matter how you feel. And I'm just giving you a little glimpse, right? I don't like to show all this. I don't like to talk about this. Right? Because there's people that watch this that need my assistance. Right? But I'm being transparent. I'm being honest. Right? This is the cycle of everybody. It's not like Coach Mo is invincible. No, this is the reality of it. But guess what? I'm going to get up and do it another damn day.
Yeah. And that just goes back to we were talking about the weakness in people, right? Which a lot of it is weakness, right? Like I used to take like pills for my headaches, and then he motherfucker told me like, bro, that's just weakness, right? I didn't like it at first. Like I got offended by
what they tell you?
I was taking like stress pills, right? He was like, you need pills for stress? I got upset. I was like, you a doctor now?
Right? Yeah, you were so mad.
I mean, I was like, man, dude, disrespecting me or like making me look like I'm weak, right? And looking back at it, right, now that things have happened, I understand things. It is weak. One little inconvenience, right? Anything hurts your little ass? Oh, pill, right? Or whatever, right? And this that weakness you're talking about, which is funny, right? But the reality is, yes, it hurts in the moment. When you get checked, like, man, that's weakness. And your ego want to protect you. In reality, it is weakness, right? We just got to overcome the weakness.
Oh, my God.
And, like, that voice, right? Everybody, like, that voice that you said was telling you these things. Everybody has that voice. But motherfuckers just cave to it. And people cave to it every day. You know? It's just ignoring that feeling. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling burned out. Oh, my body's tired. But my brain is exhausted from talking to people, from motivating people, from whatever. I'm a manager at my job, and I gotta motivate everybody. I gotta stay on top. I'm a manager at CC's Pizza, and these people are BSing, right? You gotta stay on your game, right? And these are all feelings you gotta ignore. And it just goes back to that. It's their weakness, and it's not caving to those weak feelings, because everybody has those feelings. Like the top of the top has those feelings.
Yeah.
But what does distinguish them is that they ignore it and they keep pushing. Yeah. You know? I remember there's a story that I read from Tim Grover, big motivated coach, right? Mental coach. He said that he had to fly out to Chicago because he was coaching Michael Jordan. And he coached Kobe Bryant too. And he pretty much, his daughter was like, why do you got to leave, Dad? Why you got to work so much, right? His little girl. And he was like, well, Daddy's got to put food on the table. And the daughter said, if I eat less, will you stay home? Right? Now imagine how that dude felt. Yeah. His daughter telling him I'm going to eat less, right? And it was funny, which I thought was kind of hilarious. He was like, she told me that. He was like very serious tone. Like about to cry. And then I went to work. Yeah. Right? But the thing is, like, people be like, oh, he's such a horrible dad. He's neglecting. He's never gonna get those years back, right? Now that granted, that is true. I'm not gonna have that specific moment back. But he's sacrificing for his family so that in the future his daughter set up. Let's say if he's dead, his daughter will not have to work a day in her life. His daughter will not have to be dependent on another man who might be a piece of shit to her. Mm-hmm. Right? He's setting his family up for when he's not there, they will be taken care of, right? It was more badass than that, right? Then they don't have to have no handouts. And they don't have to present this family in church and we're going to donate money for them because they don't got nothing, right? Because the unexpected tragedy happened. The father died. Now they don't have a provider, right? Which it happens often, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Life happens, right? Maybe people were on their way to be that person, but they died, whatever the case may be. But there's this Roman proverb. It says that Society prospers when men plant trees whose their shadow they will not enjoy. So they do things who they will not receive the benefits of those fruits. They do the labor and they will not even see it, but they do it for their family. They do it for the loved ones. They do it for the future. And that's when society prospers. But these motherfuckers don't even do it for someone, don't even do it for themselves. Because they sacrifice their future for the current moment, let alone they're gonna do it for somebody else.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is which you mentioned that I see is that these guys are highly motivated, but they're highly motivated because that purpose comes from deep within. Like we talked about in the last episode, pursuing your dream. Like the purpose is deep within, and that drives you. It's not just a cute thought. It's I subscribe to this mindset. It's non-negotiable. Like my dreams are not negotiating. And the reality is, when you don't wake up in the morning, when you tap out, you don't do what you're supposed to do. You are only negotiating your dreams. Think about that. You're negotiating your dreams. Your dreams are not that important to you that you're willing to negotiate them.
I just don't see that, bro. I just can't. I can't fathom that. I'll be honest with you. I cannot comprehend that.
People don't want it bad enough. You know? People don't want it bad enough, and you negotiate your dream, and next you know, you get to that age, you thought you were going to be somebody, because we all have that feeling, it's going to happen to me, right? It's going to happen for me. And we talked about it. It's going to happen for me. Motherfucker, it ain't going to happen for you unless you make it happen, right? No matter how many times. It no matter if you dang near have no kneecaps because you're on your knees praying to God. It ain't going to happen, you know? Unless you sacrifice, unless you make sacrifice for it, you know? And that's the hardest thing when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, when it comes to anything in life, is will you bite down on the mouthpiece and get after it? One last example I want to say is this one guy, right?
Give them all away, buddy.
Mr. Johnny. Very cool guy. God bless him. Very hard work ethic. You could tell by talking to this guy, his energy. He told me, he was like, man, yeah, we were just talking about life and success and stuff. He said, man, life is this simple. He said, have you seen the movie Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I said, no, Mr. Johnny, I'm not that old. He was like, well, this is the thing, right? All that stuff doesn't matter. So they got Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? They got a little kid. They got him pushing this like windmill type thing. It's like he's going in a circle. He's pushing every day, doing it. And at first they got a lot of kids doing it, right? And they're just pushing it. They're there all day. And the seasons change, fall, winter, summer, spring. All the seasons go by. And kids fall off, right? There's no longer kids doing it. He's the only one left. Fast forward to the future. And now that kid went from being a frail kid to now he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's pushing it, right? He said life is just like that, Gio. He was like, you just got to do the same thing every single fudging day and do it right. Every day and no stopping. That's how life is. And that's what I did. And that's who he is today. You know, God bless him. May he give him a lot more. You know, so guy's an awesome dude. Has a lot of wisdom. And when I see that, if you haven't seen that scene, look at that scene. It's badass. Just do it. Go through it every day. You'll come out Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know?
That's another trait for those guys that you're talking about. They're willing to do it every day. You know what I mean? Like I said, honest God, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. People ask me this all the time. I don't know. Like, how can you stop? I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know how can you just stop and say, okay, I'm gonna sit and I'm done working. It's just it makes me like my stomach hurt inside. It makes me sick thinking about it. How is it possible to just stop and sit down? You know, how do I just sit there and chill and not work another day, or go with the motion of the ocean? You know what I mean? It just don't make sense to me. I don't know how these people can do that.
I think they can't take the pain.
Yeah, I understand why they can't do it. I just, like, mentally, like, how you just convince yourself it's okay to do that is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I can't fathom that part of like, all right, bro, just you work 40 hours.
It's a mental virus, bro. It's I remember read this book. They call it the force of average, and the force of average makes you. It's that voice that talks to you like, hey, stay in bed. It's that voice that you don't push the limit. It's these drug addictions that you get. The force of average is here to prevent you from being the motherfucker who you're supposed to be, right? Hey, some people say, oh, it's the devil, right? Oh, the devil gonna get me, right? If you're religious, you can say, hey, like, I would say, like, it's the devil, right? It's these temptations the devil puts on you. And people fall for it, you know? Because what more does the devil want than somebody who's depressed because they're not achieving the dream? They're in the hearts, they know I'm not making a dream. They know I'm not living the life I'm supposed to be living. Now, when the devil presents you with alcohol, with weed, all these other addictions, porn,
temptations,
you fall for it. He broke you down. Now, when you're on your weakest point, you fall for it. Now they got you on a chain. Now I got your soul. Got you, dumb bastard. You know, that's just a sad reality. You know?
You're not playing today. I hear that. So, talking about temptations, I don't know what you call it, like when you use like an example. But like, what is it called, man? I'm not, big words are not coming to me today. I wasn't an English major. English is my second language, by the way. But it's the lady in the red dress. Have you heard this?
No.
So, everybody has their own different views, but you see a woman, attractive, red lipstick, you know, red dress. It's like in a movie, right? The lady in the red dress walks into the room and everybody looks at her. So imagine the lady in the red dress, the red lipstick, because red is like red to me, I would say is like a intimate color.
Yeah.
You know, exotic color. And so it's attractive. The red high heels. She's all done up. And so the lady in the red dress is temptations. Okay? And so when, as a young guy, you see the lady in the red dress, you're tempted. You're going to slip on a banana peel. You know what I mean? And so in life, when the lady in the red dress appears, what are you going to do? When the lady in the red dress appears as weed, as drugs, as more sleep, the one percenters, they ignore the lady in the red dress. Whereas everybody else, they jump on the lady in the red dress. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so this is to men. To men, they're attracted to women. This is in our nature. Like you just want more women. Okay? And so when this woman comes in, the average, they're all gonna huddle around her. You know, imagine being in an arena, like in a banquet hall. The lady in the red dress comes in, and all the men stare and they gravitate toward her. And the one percenter can sit there and handle his business. Ain't worried about the lady in the red dress. These guys that we're talking about, the one percenter, they're not worried about the lady in the red dress. That's one of the biggest temptations you put in front of a man.
Yeah.
This is just by nature. I don't care what anybody says, well, religion or self-control. This is by nature. The man is designed to, what is the word I'm looking for? Procreate, you know, whatever you want to use, breed, you know what I'm saying? Create. This is by design, right? So the one percenters, even though we understand this, you have enough control, you have enough mental control, mental strength, the sword is sharp, where you handle your business. You don't let that distraction get in your way. And this is one of the biggest things that you can have as a trait to be the one percenter. Is when the lady in the red dress appears and she got heels on and she decides to walk in front of you and switch her hips in front of you, smile and wink at you, you handle your business. You keep going about what you got to do. That does not tempt you. Come sit with you does not tempt you. And that can be, like I said, that can be the drugs, the alcohol, the procrastination. Procrastination is the biggest lady in the red dress, by the way.
That's very underrated, actually.
You know, the procrastination is one of the biggest, like the lady in the red dress. That's the procrastination. It's one of the biggest ones. You know, the friends that are like, hey, let's go out and drink, get a drink. Let's go out and see a movie. Let's go out and do this. That's another lady in a red dress. Let's go out. Let me go home and see my family. This is okay now. Don't get me wrong. People are like, oh, damn, you're extreme. This is okay and it's wrong. It's not wrong. But even then, when you're a 1%er, you understand that this may take sacrifice. And a lot of people don't, in 2024, especially younger folks, they do not understand this. They do not understand this. But I'm only doing it to create the future that will give us what we want. My purpose and my intention is for me to achieve this thing, that we are going to live the life that we want. And this is what I really want for my family. This is what I really want for my community. Because for the most part, like I said, most of these guys go back to their family. They're doing it for their wife and kids. Most of these guys. And some people do it for other reasons. You know? But can you ignore the lady in the red dress?
Yeah.
That's the question you got to ask yourself. You know what I mean?
Is your mind sharp enough?
Is your mind sharp enough? Do you have enough self-control, mental strength to ignore the lady in the red dress? And if you can ignore the lady in the red dress, you can see success.
Very powerful. And that's the difference between the amateurs and the pros. The amateurs fall for the temptation. You know? They fall for the temptation without realizing it. And they sacrifice their future for the lady in the red dress.
Yep.
That's crazy image to think about.
You know, and the truth is, a lot of people are going to fall for it. Especially when you're younger, you're going to fall for the lady in the red dress.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? You are going to do it. You know? And that's where we'll start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Guys, you're going to be the black belt or you're going to be the white belt? You're going to be the professional or the amateur? Okay? Are you going to be the convenience seeker or the committed? Are you going to fall for the lady in the red dress? Okay, ask yourself that. Are you going to fall for that? Or are you going to ignore all the hardships? You're going to ignore the stress, the pain, the exhaustion, and work toward what you want? Or are you going to be on a repetitive cycle where you work toward your dreams and your goals, you do it for a little bit, temptations come in, procrastination comes in, hardships come in, inconvenience comes in, and you stop, leave it alone, and you move on to the next thing, and you stop, you leave it alone. And if you've gone through this cycle for many years, or are you going to be part of the 1%ers, the small group of individuals that committed their lives to becoming better and to create a future for their self, their family, their community for the best. And they did what it takes to achieve that. Which one are you going to be? That's my question for you. Okay? And be honest with yourself. Okay? And that's where it starts. If you can be honest with yourself, then you can get on that journey. All right? But that journey is rough, guys. The journey is hard. It's tough. And it's a long journey. But I promise you, you will see good things at the end of it. All right? So stay after it. Be part of that group, guys. I hope you enjoy your journey. Stay persistent. Sharpen your swords every single day. Sharpen your sword mentally. Do something to get mentally stronger and smarter. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Listen to entrepreneurs. Meet high successful individuals. Pick their brains. Okay? Study. Educate yourself. Physically. Work out. Do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do some sort of martial arts. Muay Thai kickboxing. Okay? Go on walks. Go on runs. Go to the gym. Lift weights. Because every time you sharpen your sword, you will get better. And anytime you get better and you can get stronger, then you have a higher chance of achieving what you want. So get up every single day, sharpen your sword. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. I really appreciate you guys. Subscribe to our YouTube. Please share to your friends and family. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Peace out.